Welcome, Tim. We're going to talk about introduction to HIPAA, the HIPAA law. What exactly does it mean? It was federal law that is advocating for creating a national standard to protect patient-sensitive health information from being disclosed without the patient's consent. So this is a federal law. So every applicable organization needs to apply and be in compliance, or else potentially they could be fined, class act, action suit, and it could damage the reputation of the organization also. What is the function of HIPAA? HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. The main function for HIPAA is to guarantee the electronic protection of health records to ensure the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of those health information. It also provides some enforceable standard of protecting health data. It helps reduce the risk of healthcare and health insurance fraud and abuse as fraudulent claims, and overall improves the health insurance portability to help people have a switch from one insurance carrier to the other. So just makes our life more efficient in simple terms. HIPAA titles. There are 5 sections to the Act known as titles. I will go through each one of those. Title 1 talks about healthcare access, portability, and renewability. It protects the health insurance coverage for individuals who lose or change their jobs. So if you transfer jobs or there's a transition in your life and you're changing job, it protects you so that you're still insured at any point in time. Title 2 talks about preventing healthcare fraud and abuse, administrative simplification, medical liability reform. So it's simply known as the privacy rule. It basically deals with protection of privacy within the electronic healthcare transaction in general. It also regulates the disclosure of use of PHI, protected health information, by the covered entities at any point in time. Title 3 gets into tax-related health provisions governing medical savings account. So the standard in general helps to standardize the amount that can be saved per person in a pre-tax medical saving account. So many of us, if you have this pre-tax saving card, these are some of the benefits of the HIPAA law in general. It makes the medical savings account available to employees covered under an employer-sponsored high deductible plan. So it's just a pretty good title to help us for medical savings in general. Title 4 talks about application and enforcement of group health insurance requirements. This specifies conditions for group health plans regarding the coverage of persons with pre-existing conditions and if there's a modification of the continuation of the coverage itself. It also clarifies continuation coverage requirements and includes the COBRA clarification, just a way to make it very clear and simplistic so that we are covered as an organization in general. So it's to protect us, the consumers mostly. Title 5 gets into revenue offset governing tax deduction for employers. And this includes the company-owned life insurance provisions and treatments of those of the US citizen for income tax purpose in general. So who must comply with HIPAA in general? Number 1, healthcare providers, health plan providers, companies that process non-standard health data into a standard format also, such as healthcare clearing houses in general. Requirements for HIPAA, of course, understanding the patient's rights, protecting health information, that's a big deal, informing users of their rights, consent, very big deal also. Complying with HIPAA, to comply with HIPAA, any organization should provide privacy policy. They should have policies for privacy that describes how the company process our healthcare information, and it's in compliance with the HIPAA compliance program in general. The privacy policy in general should have certain clauses. Number 1, introductory clause, individual right, patient use of patient data, the patient disclosure, data disclosure, special situations, patient and user complaints, then the contact details. So those are the key things. So in the overall compliance program in general would include basically the data security, how the data we have, that is PHI, personal health information, how it's been secured, the disclosure mitigation, the risk assessment that is done, and overall employee training and awareness, how it is done also. The disclosure mitigation typically would, in general, it demands an organization to only disclose the minimum amount of data necessary to achieve the intended purpose at any point in time. We also have the data security. It states that it's the health organization has a responsibility to ensure that the health data is secure. So it's on you. You're liable to make sure as an organization, health data for your employees are properly secured at any point in time. Employee training. It's fair to say there's a need to train all personnel assessing health data to understand the implication on HIPAA to help them enforce good security practice in general. Risk assessment. It's important also that there should be continuous risk assessment done to determine whether this infrastructure or application or overall organizational structure is working well and whether they are HIPAA compliant or not within the organization. Penalties for failing to comply with HIPAA. It can be, number one, reputational damage. It can lead to fine and implementation of corrective action plan. And it could be severe at times. So it's on us and on organization to make sure we are in compliance at all times with those HIPAA laws. In conclusion, the main central role of HIPAA is to ensure the safety of healthcare information. All organizations and individuals handling healthcare information are expected to be in compliance with HIPAA. And that's it for this class. We'll talk soon. Thank you.